to you guys. Since the latest Epstein drop, there is a lot of information floating around the internet, especially on X, as we know. The area or the place where conspiracy theorists gather together and talk about everything that at some point turns out to be true. At least part of it. And today we want to go into one aspect of the whole thing, which is a part, at least, of the Jewish religion, I would say, or maybe also we could say Jewish culture, Jewish rituals. As I said, at least for a part of Jewish people, because it's very confusing. It is very, very complex and not as easy. And it's not just Jews, you know? So I want to be clear. This video is not about to rant about Jews. It's just about to observe things, to see, talk about structures that are existing, and not only since yesterday, but since a long time, actually. A long time, you know, it goes way back, thousands of years. And it's about sacrifice. It is about like ritual abuse, things we would call in the modern days as satanic. The Epstein files gave us a glimpse, or we could say those are now confirmed things conspiracy theorists were talking about, and it's crazy to see all of that stuff coming up. For some it's new, for some it's not new, but we're gonna go into it, man. So this is gonna be an interesting one. If you're ready, as I said, it's gonna be kind of a also very, very dark part of humanity. But we're here for the truth, and the truth sometimes can be painful. So let's dive right in after the intro. Let's go.
Describing an underwater UFO as large as a football field, moving at hundreds of miles per hour underwater.
Have you met with people with direct knowledge or have direct knowledge yourself of non-human origin craft?
Yes, I personally interviewed those individuals.
Do we have the bodies of the pilots who piloted this craft?
Biologics came with some of these recoveries, yeah.
Aliens exist and President Trump knows about it.
The United States and Israel have been in contact with a group of aliens for years.
I'd go to the moon in a nanosecond. The problem is we don't have the technology to do that anymore. We used to, but we destroyed that technology.
We are not all to be traced back to one blob of germplasm.
And the implant is finally removed.
There's no evidence how the object got inside the body.
Can you comment on the drones?
Our military knows where they took off from. Something strange is going on. For some reason, they don't want to tell the people.
What storm, Mr. President?
You'll find out.
So guys, we're gonna start with a video of a guy that is asking questions to Jewish people about the Talmud. And the quite famous part that a lot of people are talking about now is that how do they come to the conclusion that, or if it actually is, the Jewish people think that non-Jewish people are not even like humans, you know, that they're more, so to speak, like animals. And if that's the case, and how does it come? And it's very interesting. I'm not 100% sure what kind of Jews they are, because they do mention some Orthodox anti-Zionist Jews, but I don't really get the context here. So I'm not sure if the ones he's interviewing are the ones being anti-Zionists or not. So we always have to be careful who, you know, what we say. But yeah, man, it's just, as I said, about observing things and, like, you know, putting the puzzle together. Yeah, man. So let's hop right into it.
Okay. אז השאלה...
תגיד שלא.
אתם קוראים מאוד
הם חיות. הם קוראים בהמות, כתוב.
אוקיי.
כתוב, אתם קוראים מועדון ואין הם קוראים מועדון.
זהו, אבל לא הם בהמות.
נכון, לא כתוב שהם בהמות.
אבל יש איזה הסבר על זה, נכון? למה הם... רגע, זה מה שאני רוצה להבין. רגע, שקט. אז מי, כן, מה כתוב? זה מה שאני לא מבין.
כתוב שאתם קרויים אדם, והגויים לא קרויים אדם, זה מה שכתוב.
לא קרויים?
לא קרויים אדם, לא קוראים להם אדם.
אוקיי, אז מה קוראים להם?
אדם זה אדמי לעליון.
אדם הוא בן אדם שהוא שונה מהבהמה. אם הבן אדם עושה את מעשה הבהמה, אז הוא כמו הבהמה.
Okay. So I do get that point, actually. In terms of that it's more about the behavior. If you act like an animal or if you act like a human being, which is, you know, maybe a loving being, you know, a child of God. No, but I mean, yeah, so about love. The question is if it's just, about this or if it's more. So let's see and find out.
מה זה שווה? כל בן אדם צריך לשלוט על עצמו.
אוקיי.
זה היהודים שולטים על עצמם.
אוקיי.
אם היצר אומר להם לעשות דבר והם לא עושים, אז הוא בן אדם.
אוקיי, אבל יש מישהו שהוא לא יהודי שעושה מה שצריך, הוא בן אדם או לא בן אדם?
כן, צריך לעשות דברים נורמליים. בדרך כלל הם עושים, הם יכולים להרוג אנשים כשלא רואים אותם. יהודי לא יהרוג יהודי אפילו שלא רואים אותם.
What? Where's he living, bro? Where you living, my G? Jews don't kill Jews, bro? Okay, if you think so. I don't know where you live, but man, that stuff's happening, bro. Kind of delusional, gotta say. And also, I did not really understand what he's saying, in terms of also normal human, or not normal human, but also non-Jewish people have to do normal things and they can kill people. It's like, what are you talking, bro? I don't get it.
אחד גוי, כן?
אבל יש יהודים שהורגים יהודים.
Nah, I mean, come on. They're not really, not really Jews killing other Jews. What are you talking about?
יש.
יגאל עמיר, רבי פופר.
יהודי שמתנהג כמו יהודי, ודאי יש יהודים שלא מתנהגים.
אוקיי, אבל רגע, מה שאני לא מבין, זה כל הגויים...
Man, this is kind of confusing, bro. I really don't get what they're talking about. Just like, yeah, non-Jew, there's like a Jew and Jew that is a Jew, it could be a Jew. What? So all of those answers are not satisfying me. They're kind of confusing, gotta say. Please sort things out, guys.
הם
Oh shit. We are beasts. The Goyim. Oh man. The thing is now I'm being funny, right? But this is dead serious. It's... What people need to understand is that, as I said, all those things are going back and rooting back. I mean, we're going to look at a lot more things that are very disturbing because we're going to start easy with this one. But it's not about just looking at Jews and, talking about Jews. It's something that goes so deep. And it can give you, I would say, give you a glimpse of what is missing. A lot of the pieces of the puzzle, we tend to not find really, answers in this world, especially about like how did we end up in a society that we are living in right now, and how do banks exist like this, and why is everything like that? Who created all of these structures that we feel trapped in, And this is something, if you go down this rabbit hole, man, you're gonna see so many connections, which will bring you to this point where you end up to be called an anti-Semitic guy just because you're talking about things that are just as they are, man. It's not about like, blaming someone because you want to. Why the hell would I want to blame on someone if there's no reason for it, man? I'm the most loving guy on this earth. I know, this sounded very convincing, right? But really, it's like just seeing things, connecting the dots together, and man, this world is disturbing, bro.
אם אין להם ציווי.
אדם זה על שם הדמה לעליון. אדם אלוקי, הוא יכול לדמה לאלוקי. אוקיי? זה פירוש אדם. אנחנו הפכנו את זה, זאת אומרת, העם הפך את זה. האדם בן אדם, כמו אתה בן אדם, אתה צריך להתנהג כמו בן אדם. אבל בעיקרון זה על שם עליון. אדם זה הדמה לעליון, וכיוון שאנחנו בנים של אלוקים, אז הוא קרא לנו בני אדם. עכשיו, הגויים מה שאין, כן? אלוקים עשה אותם בשביל שיעשו פה...
בשביל לשרת את היהודים.
Yeah, dude. That's... He's dropping it. Boom. To serve. Not serve, sorry. To serve the Jews, bro. That's what it's about, man. And the thing is, that's what I mean. Did you ever talk about that stuff in school? Did you talk about that? No? I wonder why, man. I wonder why. Because let's say that a part of Jews, and the government would be like that, and we see all those ties too. I'd say people that tend to exist in countries or in a country that starts with an I, And one guy that dropped some files, or where files got dropped off that guy, Mr. Epstein, probably very, very likely tied to this country starting with an I. And man, it just, dots are connecting. And it could make sense. You know, people are discussing. I have no opinion on this man. This is just for entertainment. But you be the judge, man. You make up your own thoughts. This is weird.
כל הגויים שאתה רואה שיש בעולם המיליארדים האלה, הם הכל רק בשביל...
Dude, this is crazy. Hearing this, they exist just for the Jews' benefit. All the people, all of the non-Jews just exist for the Jews' benefit. Let that sink in. And as I said, consider again, seeing the world how it is, we all feel like kind of slaves, right? Don't we? Always talking about, man, we're in this, loop, cycle of life, just paying taxes, paying bills, and politicians being corrupt. I don't know. Just a coincidence. And it's weird that all these guys in the Epstein files, Epstein himself, are talking about the Goyim, right? The non-Jewish people. And those males, a lot, man. A lot about Jews as well. It's weird.
אנחנו לא רואים את זה, אנחנו לא יודעים בדיוק.
שנייה, כן, היות ואנחנו בגלות, אז אוטומטי עדיין הם עוד לא משרתים אותנו לגמרי.
So automatically, they don't yet. Not yet. You understand? Don't get me wrong. They will, but not yet. Serve us completely.
לגמרי, רק חלקית.
כל אחד יהיה לו, כשמשיח יבוא, אז כל אחד יהיה לו כמה אלפים עבדים. 2,800 עבדים.
So, when the Messiah is coming back, we actually, I think, how much was it? I think 2,800 slaves for each of us? Yeah, that sounds quite good, right? It's like, so that's a good deal, man. I mean, I talked to Messiahs, and yeah, he was like, you get 2K, almost 3K. I'm being generous, man. You get them, they will do everything for you. Bro, where are you living? What are you doing? How do you come to that conclusion? Even calculating stuff like that. It's like, what? Bro, that's the thing. It's something that is kind of hard to, I know that it's there, and I know that, I'm watching myself being like, bro, are you serious? Coming to this conclusion? But they are saying it. It's not me, But it's surreal that people can say something like that and being like dead serious, It's oh boy.
בינתיים, המשיח לא כאן, אז איך הם משרתים אותנו?
הם בונים לנו רכבים, דירות, בניינים.
Junge, sein Grinsen. I'm sorry I started to talk German because it's like I'm losing my mind, man. I was like, the way he's smiling. I mean, look at that fella. He's just like, they're building us cars, bro. They're building us the apartments we live in. They work for us, Wait, bro. Wait for it. But I mean, that is kind of scary. If you ask me. Oh, man. They do everything. They serve the Jews.
יש גם יהודים שעושים את זה.
בקושי.
בסדר, בוא תשמע. לא. תראה, בוא אני רוצה להגיד לך איזה משל. יש בן אדם שמפחד מהאלוקים, כן? ויש אחד, שניהם לא עושים את הדבר הזה, שיש אחד שהוא מפחד מהמשטרה. כשהמשטרה לא נמצאת, אז הוא עושה מה שהוא רוצה, זה נכון? יש אנשים אינטליגנטים, אוכלים ככה יפה וזה וזה וזה. פעם הייתי בחתונה, והייתי ילד, אכלתי ככה מהר. זאת אומרת, תעשה חילול השם. רואים, אדם חרדים, אוכל כמו...
So, well, this is actually enough for me at this point from this video. And as if this would not be disturbing enough, we will look at another thing. And Man, let me tell you, this thing is... I don't like it. I hope YouTube is not, censoring that stuff, because it's blurred out anyway, so you don't really see anything. And what we're talking about is Metzitzah B'Peh. Metzitzah B'Peh is an old ritual which is done by, I'd say, just a small part of the Jewish community, the Orthodox community. And it's about, snippety snapping something of the little willy between your legs when you're very, very young, a baby, basically. But then, we're not gonna clean the wound with, some, I don't know, medical aid, tissue, stuff like that. Papa's coming to you. Let me suck it off. Let me suck it off for you. Let's take a look, my G's.
בעמו ישראל באהבה.
Okay.
שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו.
That's what I mean. Sorry, guys. I did not mean to be disrespectful to anyone, participating in that and being like serious about it. And it's not a harmful person, but it's like, man, when it's about rituals and people doing things where I'm like, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? I'm like, it's hard for me to, not laugh at certain things. But the poor baby. I don't like where that's going. I don't like where it's leading to, bro. I feel it. Oh no. Fucking hell, who was talking there, bro? Imagine being this baby and it's like, Okay. There was a... okay, PTSD incoming. Oh, damn. Oh, gotta get rid of this energy. Cleaning myself. Oh, man. Why, bro? Just don't do it. Uncle Sam, relax. Why are you going down there, man? Oh, traumatizing as hell for this little poor baby. It's like this incarnation. I mean, seems like you choose that, but come on. Did you know about that ritual? No? I wonder why, man. I wonder why. It's but it is something that exists, and it's not just this thing, It's not that this is something modern and just there's for like 20 years. Stuff like that goes way back. And there are documentaries about it, which I will watch on this channel as well. It's gonna come, gonna have a reaction to that. Still thinking about if it's gonna be a live stream though. But yeah, man, this is very disturbing stuff that I don't really like. And this is confirmed, actually. And it is very interesting because there's actually a woman, a teacher that was, working at the University College of London. And they were teaching things about Jewish rituals, basically. And I would say we're just gonna hop right into that thing and have a listen what she's saying.
Now, 40 years later, in about 1838, there was something called the Damascus Affair. What happened is there is a priest, Christian priest called Thomas. He disappears in Damascus during what is called the Feast of Tabernacles. So this is a Jewish feast. And the story goes, and again, these are things that you read, but again, as I said, do investigate, draw your own narrative. But the story is that during this feast, they make these special pancakes or bread. And part of the holy ceremony is that drops of blood from someone who's not Jewish, which the term is Gentile, has to be mixed in that bread.
Oh.
So the story is that a certain investigation...
Okay, wait. So, I guess that's normal, right? Mom, could you make some pancakes for me? I'm very, very hungry, but don't forget this little drop of a non-Jew. His testicles. How do you come up with that? In which book of Satan do you have to read to do something like this? I guess oh man. I'd like to have some pancakes with blood, bro. Don't you? Mm-hmm. But I think there needs to be blood from a non-Jew, bro. Otherwise, it's not the real deal, bro. You know what I mean? Excuse me, man. Why? People are weird.
Was undergoing to try and find where Father Thomas is. He was found murdered, and a group of Jews who lived in Syria said that, admitted to kidnapping him and murdering him to get drops of blood for making.
Oh my God, bro. So yeah, getting the blood. Jews living in Syria. Oh man, and that's what I mean. There are so many things that are so weird that we never really hear of, I would say. And especially not, people being in the world with high ranks, talking about stuff like that. And something very interesting as well that you might hear of, maybe not. And that happened in 2024 in the Chabad Lubavitch headquarters in Brooklyn, Crown Heights. And it shows basically Jewish people being pulled out some weird structures. Because they were actually being caught, building tunnel systems underneath this synagogue, I think. And it's kind of weird, bro. And then there's a mattress with some stains of something on that are looking a little sus, I would say. But let's dive in. Oh, relax. And what are you doing there, sir? Relax, bro. Dude. Even if you not try to be this guy that is trying or talking about the stereotype of Jews, fruit juice, you just end up there. It's imagine being those guys, being pulled out of tunnels and being angry about it because the Goyim are. Why are you stopping us? You need to serve us, bro. I'm just kidding. I know it's not everyone, never, but those guys. Oh boy, gotta do some fitness, man. That ain't looking good, bro. Man, this is disturbing stuff. What are you doing down there? I swear, why are you building tunnels? Why? What are you doing down there, guys? In dark light. Is that guy dancing, bro? I feel like he's enjoying the whole thing. He's like, la la la, you know, let's go. Like, what? I mean, he's vibing, you know? Don't blame him. Oh boy, oh boy. Well, again, kind of weird. Another thing is the Kapparot ritual. Did you hear about the Kapparot ritual? Or maybe Kapparot, I don't know. Kapparos, that's what they say. It can be called as well. Again, Orthodox Jews. So I don't know if it's only Orthodox ones, but they seem to be some of those guys that are doing quite, intense things. Let's call it that. And what we're going to look at now is basically Jews having chickens. And there's this ritual of having chickens. And if you were a sinner in this, like, you know, snorting cocaine, or maybe, I don't know, man, whatever, doing things God is not proud of you, son, my son, you know, doing in this world, then you can get a chicken and you can basically torture that chicken, which sounds good, right? I mean, get a chicken and, I don't know, you know, rip off each feather slowly. No, man, but you can actually do that and put your sins into the chicken. And then you can kill that chicken. And with this, you basically killed that chicken and your sins. Do you get that? I mean, it's basically what a cheat code. It's you put your sins into the chicken so you don't get blamed. It's like, I did not do that. Shut up. You're the one that did that, right? It's like, go to hell. Who are you? No, I'm good, bro. I'm good. My white shirt, ain't no blood on there, bro. That's what they act like. And it's kind of weird, I would say, to see,
She talks about a lot.
people walking around with chickens like that, man.
What the fuck is going on? They got chickens in their hand.
That's what I'm saying.
They praying with the chickens.
Care for victims or care to protect.
Dude, imagine just being there and they're coming up Jews with chicken in their hands, like.
She says
they doing anything with the chickens.
All these
I don't know what the fuck that is, but they praying with the chicken. A live chicken in their hand. What the fuck?
Flaccos. I get you, bro. What the This was my first reaction as well. Kind of weird, kind of sus. But yeah, man. Another thing where I can imagine you never really heard of. Or maybe now you did hear of it because people are starting to talk about it, but kind of weird, right? Do you do that with your normal Christian guys in church? I don't know. I guess not. And talking about all this stuff, we cannot leave and forget about one woman that is very important and saying a lot of things that are very controversial these days. And it's Candace Owens. And she had a very, very interesting take on some things and Sigmund Freud and, you know, a lot of influence. And basically we're spitting some truth into this whole thing that is going on. So I don't want to say too much. Let's just listen to her.
Good evening, my fellow Goyim. You know who was not surprised at all while reading through the Epstein files? The people that are in my book club, because the book that we are currently reading is Sigmund Freud and the Jewish mystical tradition. Yes, he hated Christians. It's a fact. Which
is very interesting. I gotta say, I did not read very much of Sigmund Freud. way back in school. Almost forgot everything. So I don't know too much about it. But yeah, man, this book sounds actually quite interesting. Might take a look into that one. Let me know if you read it. Let me know if you read that book. How was it? How did you like it? Drop it in the comments.
Wrote about it extensively. He hated Catholics. And yes, they perform rituals. That is not an imagination. It's not a conspiracy. The only conspiracy are those that are colluding to hide those facts. Well, how could you have the Star of David once upon a time, what was it, before 1914, that was the flag of Morocco? That's weird. That's not a Jewish nation. What does it actually symbolize? Occult mysticism. That's why it's on the cover of Aleister Crowley's books. They deem children to be a necessary part of their initiation rituals. He writes, imagine I obtained a scene, which means a patient was speaking to him about this, about the circumcision of a girl, the cutting of a piece of her labia, sucking up the blood, following which the child was given a piece of the skin to eat. He then fast forwards and he says, I
get those proteins, bro. You gotta get those proteins. Don't skip it. You wanna get, those muscles.
Dream, therefore, of a primeval devil religion whose rites are carried on secretly, and I understand the harsh therapy of the witches' judges. Sigmund Freud, the background story there is wild. All right, he was once an out.
But you got that masculine energy, bro. Damn, my boy got that riz. He be risen. Gotta say, not bad, Mr. Freud. Yeah, Freud.
Cast in the very tight-knit, perverted psychology club in Vienna because he told the truth. He went to the morgue. He examined children who had died after they were horrifically murdered and sexually assaulted. And then he also saw patients who were children who were still alive, who were telling him these stories about what they lived through. And he had determined after speaking to these children that they were all telling the truth. And so he gets ostracized from the psychology community. He's like, no, this is actually happening, and it's also incestuous. And they go, get out of here. You can't be with us. You can't publish his paper. Oh no, what would the Goyim think? He actually did publish his findings. And like I said, the pervert turned on him. Then remarkably, at the age of 36, he partakes in a ritual during which...
Dude, I gotta say, man, this Goyim thing sounds like we're like creatures from Lord of the Rings. Listen, Frodo, the Goyim are coming. It's like, what are we even talking about, guys? We're living in times, man. You cannot make that up, I swear. What is actually happening?
He's welcomed into the club, and he changes his mind, and he writes to Wilhelm Fliess that he now understands. Okay, so that's what I just read to you. Like he now understands what is happening. And that is why you need to wake up and recognize that this is what is happening in our world. And what he's referring to are ancient pagan festivals and ceremonies. We are not in a war between monotheistic faiths. The people that we are fighting are effectively pagan gypsies who have been wearing the cloak of Judaism, I would say, since the fall of the missing Khazarian Empire. The Khazars were a nomadic Turkic tribe who adopted Judaism in the 8th century. Now, Freud, this part is important. We're going to get to what's in Epstein's emails because, man, if I didn't tell you guys the truth, if you don't know what B'nai B'rith is, you got to wake up, especially if you're in America, okay? That lodge, it's Jewish supremacists. They had everything to do with the Civil War in America. They excel at creating the false dialectic, the North versus the South, the left versus the right. Ulysses S. Grant notoriously expelled Jews from his military district, Tennessee, Mississippi, Kentucky. He was anti-Semitic. Everybody's just anti-Semitic. No, this had everything to do with what they were cooking up at these lodges, B'nai B'rith. That then subsequently became the ADL after the ritualistic murder of a Catholic girl named Mary Fagan. There is no hiding that anymore. I don't care if Dennis Prager is going to write another letter and say, that's not true. This case is not real. It's happened so many times during the same dates, the same holiday season, all throughout history that it is getting ridiculous to not acknowledge that this is true and this is real. And the Epstein files create an opportunity for us to discuss this, to hear the way they speak about us behind closed doors.
True.
Exactly how Sigmund Freud spoke. It's racist, right? I want to make it clear that this is, for them, a religious philosophy, a racist perspective that we are Goyim, meaning cattle that are meant to be herded and ruled over. I said this at the end of last year. I said this is how I am being treated because I don't listen to them. Hence their psychotic, obsessive, and frankly, their evil manner in which they have confronted me simply trying to move on in my life after realizing I don't want to work for Zionist psychopaths. I just don't want to do that if that's cool. To them, that's akin to a buck that won't break. How dare you? They feel as maybe you or I would feel if an animal beat us at a game of chess. That's what it feels like when Candace is just like, peace, I'm out, and her life is not subsequently ruined and over. And they will keep publishing things and calling me names. Everything she's saying is an anti-Semitic conspiracy until the emails drop. And Jeffrey Epstein, who worked on behalf of the Rothschilds, according to him, he wrote that in an email, the Rothschilds who credit themselves with having created which nation state? Oh, right, Israel. Israel, the same nation state that is having a bunch of women say that they were ritualistically abused in a forest by rabbis.
Oh boy. What did we get ourselves into? Gotta be careful with it. Man, that's what she said. I mean, as I said, a woman that is throwing out and, talking about a lot of controversial things, being always very direct and very Candace-like in her way of being, and just like, it is how it is. Come, let's fight. I don't give up. Which is good, man. She got a lot of points, and I don't, I'm not like nitpicking, like, I don't care, man. I listen to everyone, and I just make my own mind, my own thoughts. I don't care about your drama, if you have beef and this and that. It's like, as long as there is truth out there, and there is, at least a part of what she's saying is true, and you have, man, make your own thoughts, listen to your intuition and see what makes sense for you, where you can see connections, where you can see patterns, where you recognize things that make sense. And that's all about it, man. It's not that hard, actually. And what she was talking about is very, very interesting. Let's put it that way. And because we're just starting, guys, it's going to be a longer one. In case you didn't get your popcorn, I hope you have it now. And if you didn't, do so. Subscribe to my channel, man. If you're here enjoying your time, as I do, hit that subscribe button, click the like button, leave a comment. But be careful what you write, bro. We're living in times of censorship, But yeah, man, I'd love your support. We're just starting out, man. We're living in great times, and we're one family, guys. So we got to stick together. Stop the division. We have to stick together and, come together, create the future we want to live in. So, yeah, man, join the family, and let's go back to the video. So we're going to talk about the Rabbi Joseph ben Porat. And he's a leading specialist in the history of the Jewish people that translated Hitler's book, Mein Kampf, and discussed it with the Jewish community. And it's very interesting. I wonder why I never heard of those things in school in Germany, where I grew up, right? The country where all of that stuff happened. But especially here, things are very, very forbidden. And people don't like to talk about things. So you got to look for information on your own, man. That's what I'm always doing. So let's go into it and listen what that rabbi has to say. Good question, bro. I always ask myself that in school.
אבל הדברים כתובים כאן במיין קאמפ. זה הספר יצא רק לאחרונה, התירו לתרגם מיין קאמפ בעברית, זה אסור כל השנים. אבל יש תרגום קודם יותר שיד ושם תרגם קטעים, להם היה מותר. היטלר טוען בספר שלו שהיהודים הם קומוניסטים. הם עשו את המהפכה ברוסיה. הם הרגו שם 30 מיליון רוסים, את כל האינטליגנציה, בצורה אכזרית ונוראה. ואת זה הם רוצים לעשות לכל העולם. הארץ הבאה בתור זה גרמניה. הם הקימו את המפלגה הקומוניסטית והסוציאליסטית הגרמנית, וזה נכון. אם אנחנו לא נתגבר עליהם עכשיו, הם יחסלו אותנו וישחטו גם כאן 20 מיליון איש את כל האינטליגנציה. וככה הם הלכו מארץ לארץ. כשבסופו של דבר האינטליגנטים היחידים, החכמים היחידים, יהיו רק היהודים. והוא חוזר על זה הרבה פעמים, שלא תהיה טעות. והוא צודק. את המהפכה ברוסיה עשו היהודים. את הצבא הרוסי בנה טרוצקי, שהיה גאון עצום. שונא ישראל שלא היה שני לו. הוא הקים את היפססט כהבריה, המפלגה היהודית של המפלגה הקומוניסטית, שחבריה הלשינו את האבא ואת האמא, את האח ואת הבן. מי שיש לו סידור או אפילו ספר ללימוד עברית, אני כבר לא מדבר על תפילין ומקווה, את הכל הוא הרס, גם אצל היהודים, אבל ודאי אצל הרוסים. בתמונה של פוליט ביורו הראשון, זה כמו הממשלה ברוסיה, מתוך 13 חברים, 6 יהודים. מי הקים את הקג"ב? לפני כן קראו לו אין כבודה. יהודים. אם כן הדברים כתובים מפורש. הוא לא שנא את היהודים בגלל שיש להם פאות. הוא לא שנא אותם בגלל שהם שומרים מצוות. בגלל שהם קומוניסטים. והוא כותב כאן בצורה ברורה. היהודים הרסו את הדת ואת האמונה. הם הפיצו בגרמניה את הכפירה באלוקים. כך הוא כותב. אני מרגיש שליחו של אלוקים לחסל את היהודים, כי הם כופרים בו. את זה הוא כותב כאן. אתם מבינים עכשיו למה הם לומדים את זה בית ספר? כי מי כותב את תוכניות הלימודים? אותם שמאלנים. הם ודאי לא יכתבו שהיטלר רצה להרוג את היהודים בגלל שהם אבות השמאל העולמי ואבות המרקסיזם, קומוניזם, לניניזם. אבל את זה הוא כותב.
Well, this is way more than interesting, and and this is what I'm talking about. That this is something we never hear of when being in school. This is not something that we never talk about. And I know that in Germany, this guy is being hated. You know, it's not a famous guy, of course, but everything that tends to come out in social media, stuff like that, instantly right-wing, extremist right-wing, anti-Semitic content, you know. But it's history. If you look into books and you read, man, it's just info being out there, as every info we consume, you know, and it is just out there. And you connect the dots, and what people claim it to be, or the guy to be, that doesn't matter, man. Look at the facts, look at what is written, and then you see what's going on. And this is very interesting. Not saying anything what I think now, you know, it's just interesting to hear that. And that's what I think should be important, to we should be able to do that and not being censored, man. You know, censored. It's like, especially we people in Germany, man, we need to be able to read stuff like this, you know, to see stuff like that, to read the biography of himself or his book. If we talk about him the whole time, you know, why are we just talking about people talking about him instead of just reading what he was writing? In terms of, you know, arguing about someone, we should, you know, if he put it out something, we should read that. I don't know, man. Why do I need to look at other people talking about him and just read what he had to say? And it's interesting. It's very, very interesting. So further we do, kind of come to another rabbi. And so further we do, we're going to come to another rabbi. And the rabbi we got to look at now is Yaron Reuven. And he speaks on Hitler and the first laws passed once he gained power and how it affected Jews because they were running the businesses. So, again, historical facts that are very interesting to hear of that they don't want you to know. And, I mean, look at my color, man, you know. In case someone wants to drop the, oh, you're this guy, you're this guy. Think, bro. Use your brain. It's not working out.
Who knows the first two laws that Hitler implemented? Hitler, Yimach Shemo V'Zichro, first two laws that Hitler implemented that not only put him in a different status than everybody else for the rest of history, but also made what's called until this day the biggest financial miracle in history. Who knows the first two laws?
I don't know.
Before the Nuremberg laws. Before that, we're talking about years before it. Hitler first comes into power. What's the first two laws?
I don't know.
Okay, I'll save you the time. Rule number 1. No more pornography. No more homosexuality. None of that garbage. Not allowed. Berlin, in the 30s, in the 20s, was the Sodom and Gomorrah of the day. They were the Las Vegas of the day. They were the Sodom and Gomorrah of the day. Homosexuality, pornography, all the bestiality, all the garbage of the world, that was the capital of the world.
That's what he's saying. I don't say anything about that, right? You be your own judge. That's what he's saying. But I gotta say, pornography is a bad thing, man. Don't do pornography. I swear.
He outlawed it. You're no longer allowed. Closed all the bars, all the gay clubs, all the production, which were all run by Jewish people. Unfortunately.
That's interesting. Never heard of that. To be honest, I wonder why.
Unfortunately. Second rule. What's the second rule? Second rule was you're not allowed to charge interest. No more interest. Now you would think, why? What does he care about interest? Well, because all the people that had the money, that lent the money out, were Jews. He didn't like it. So he said no more interest. Why? Because of the high interest that the Jews charged people was so high, it ruined, it destroyed the economy in Germany.
Oops. I mean, huh? How did that come, bro? What? I mean, that is kind of weird, right? And not very good, I'd say, for the country. I wonder why you want to save your country from that.
They destroyed, just like they destroyed Russia a few years before that through their communism over there. Jews destroyed Russia, not Goyim. Jews destroyed. Communism is by Jews. Well, don't let anybody confuse you. You look at history, Karl Marx, all the other Reshaim, they're all Jews. Wicked, but nonetheless Jews. They destroyed Russia, and he wrote in chapter 2 of Mein Kampf, they destroyed Russia, now they're destroying Germany, that's why I have to destroy them. Now, this doesn't make he's right. The point is, that's actually real, true history. Now, he saw that the Jews are controlling the financial system and they're charging such high interest, they destroyed the German economy.
Man, it's... Gotta get that info out, bro. It's so, true facts, true history. That's what I'm after. And info is key at those times. So I'm very glad and appreciate the possibility to hear things like this. Just to make up my own mind, Because without those things, it would be very hard to go forward and look for the truth, man, and to find the missing pieces of the puzzle. So interesting info and something that could be good in school to talk about. And, now we looked at things that are happening, and I have a couple more. And just, as I said, again, to connect the dots and see happenings, having talked about people having a certain view of the Goyim, the non-Jews, and how they have to, serve the Jews, the sons of God, the actual sons, children of God, Things are weird, but could make sense if you see it out of that perspective. I don't know. But I think you heard about the dancing Israelis, right? No? Then listen to this. And this is very interesting. Very, very important.
It began when this woman was watching the Twin Towers burning from her apartment in New Jersey.
She noticed 3 men on top of a van, posing for pictures with the towers burning in the background.
And I could see that they were like happy. You know, they didn't look shocked to me. You know, they didn't look shocked. I thought it was very strange.
The witness called police, who stopped the van hours later and arrested 5 men.
I mean, it is kind of weird to pose, you know, with the Twin Towers in flames, basically. I'd say, I don't know, man. I mean, could be random. Not really, but who knows? This, maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I'm tripping balls.
All 5, it turns out, were Israeli. They were turned over to the FBI.
That's kind of
Sources
weird.
tell ABC News, during a check of national security databases, some of the men were listed as having had connections with Israeli intelligence.
That's kind of weird, bro. How? What? Why?
The FBI, that set off alarm bells. The FBI needed the answers to 3 important questions. Who were these men? What brought them to that parking lot on the morning of September 11th? And did they have any advance knowledge of what was going to happen that day? They said they worked for a company called Urban Moving. The FBI obtained a search warrant for the company's offices.
2 SUVs were filled up with between 9 and 12 boxes and computers.
Not long after the arrests, the offices of Urban Moving were simply abandoned. Almost everything was left behind. In jail, the 5 Israelis were repeatedly interrogated and given lie detector tests. Stephen Gordon was their American lawyer.
They were asked questions if they had ever been approached by or hired by any non-United States intelligence community.
While there is still some debate among American intelligence officials, many investigators believe some of the men were part of an Israeli operation aimed at monitoring radical Islamic charities that support groups like Hamas, something lawyers for the 5 men and the Israeli government strongly deny.
Sure they deny that. Well, the dancing Israelis, man. Don't even need to talk too much about them because they speak for themselves, you know? Dancing and being happy and posing when that stuff happened. In that context, given, not very weird, right? And since we have all those infos, it comes to my surprise that Benjamin Netanyahu is being so nice and gentle and welcoming to us, Goyim. Saying that.
אני דורש מממשלות המערב לעשות את מה שנדרש כדי להילחם באנטישמיות ולתת את הביטחון הדרוש, את ההבטחה הדרושה לקהילות היהודיות בעולם. וכדאי שיקשיבו לאזהרות שלנו. אני דורש מהם פעולה עכשיו.
Well, I don't know, man, but this sounds so nice. Benjamin, thank you. I will very much do so and protect your brothers and sisters. But you're kind of threatening me, bro. Why you be like that? There's no real reason, I would say. But who am I, you know? And with the release of the Epstein files, guys, we are coming to a mail where it's very interesting again what they are writing. And I don't know where they are doing all of this, but Epstein is basically writing, this is the way the Jew make money and made a fortune in the past 10 years. You know, selling short the shipping futures. Let the Goyim deal in the real world. The Goyim again. You know, from shipping news, the most dramatic growth has been in the shipping futures, which allow shipping companies to lay off risks. The most popular futures are forward freight agreements to deliver goods on a particular route at some point in the future. They have grown in the past year to be roughly the size of the physical market. According to Bill Lyons of the Baltic Exchange, a shipping bazaar in London that sells FFAs, many in the industry have been suspicious of such futures because they have been averse to hedging their bets. Risk-taking is, after all, part of the game, and averse to complicated financial instruments that they do not really understand. Well, he's being dead. serious. That's how the Jew make money since a long time. With the Epstein files, man, we got so much info coming out that it's almost hard to believe that everything that is in there is a real thing. Because there's some weird stuff in there where I do think actually, just because it's in the Epstein files, you know, it doesn't mean that it's legit in that sense, because I feel like it's a mix of a lot of documents that they were sending to each other for reasons. We don't know the whole context. We can make up our mind and interpret, how do you call it? Interpretate things, yeah, interpretate the happenings, you know, and try to see patterns as always. But yeah, man. So you gotta be careful with what you think, what you believe. But yeah, man, we're living in weird times, don't you think? All of this super weird, super strange. But I find it very, very interesting and very important to talk about this too. Yeah, ask questions, man. Ask questions about history the winners are telling us. You know, it's always the winner that writes history. And some things are not adding up. And with all of those things, I feel like we are coming into a situation where things start to add up a little bit more, you know. So I do thank you a lot for listening to spending your time with me, and I would again appreciate it a lot if you subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, leave a comment. How did you find that video? I mean, wow, it is dark, but we're on the right path, man. The fact that we're talking about all those things is we're on the right way, you know. 10 years before, all of this was way more hidden, you know, way more underground. So disturbing, but the truth is coming out. It's basically a law of nature, man. So have a good time with your loved ones, guys. And we're gonna see us in the next video. I'm out of here, guys. Till then.